I'm standing in my dining room, and in case you hadn't noticed, my lights aren't on. And that kind of bothers me a little bit because for the most part, anywhere I walk in my house, my lights automatically come on when I walk in the room. The reason that the lights aren't on in this room when I walk into it is because I haven't installed a motion sensor in here yet. So, a couple weeks ago, I got on Amazon and decided to buy a Shelly Motion sensor. But the one wasn't available, which is what I have throughout the house. Instead, I went ahead and bought the Shelly Motion 2. And I'm a little behind the times. These have been out for quite some time, but this is the first time that I'm setting one up, and I thought I would share that experience with you. So, let me go ahead and open this. This is actually the first time that I am opening the Shelly Motion 2. Nice thick little booklet in here. This little guy is very neat looking. It's about the same height, I think, as the old one, but much thinner. Yeah, it looks okay. And then it's got a little box on the side here for something. Probably where the reset tool is located, I would imagine. Although, yeah, we still have they've made it a little bit clearer, I think, though, in this model. The old model had side-by-side little holes like that. This one seems to have a larger square hole. I can see the button inside there. So that's kind of neat, unless that's just to release which I guess is possible. Let's find out. So as soon as I figure out how this is supposed to open, there we go. We have the little mount, some 3M double-sided tape, and the reset tool. So that's it. I actually really appreciate the fact that Shelly Alterco Robotics doesn't send a USB cable with this. Some people might complain about that, but I have so many USB cables, especially the stupid little short pointless ones from devices like this, that I'm really glad that they didn't send it. If I want a USB-C of a certain size, I will buy that and I will use it to charge them one at a time. That's not a problem. I suppose if you wanted to hook them up, to be constant power. But again, that's going to be a specific use case. It's going to be in a specific location. You're going to have specific needs. So if they sent one, it probably wouldn't be the one you want anyway. So I like that. Stupid little thing, but I like it. Okay, so the other thing is I have not actually determined where I'm going to put this sensor yet. Because in this room I have two very large archways and this open bar to the kitchen with a walkthrough right here. So I'm going to have to accept the fact that wherever I put this, chances are it's going to pick people up through the entrance a little outside of the room. And I think that's actually okay in the game room, which is actually where you're facing me from, the studio where I normally record, because I'm not usually by the archway when I'm in that room, so a little bit of spillover, not so bad. And of course, as I walk in, it'll pick me up and turn the light on, and that's ideal. So, the sensor that trips the kitchen lights is actually right here, facing that direction. So I think I may do the same thing facing in this direction. That way it catches just as somebody comes through that door. Well, and there's actually there's a door to the day room there too, and it also goes outside. So yeah, that's probably the most ideal place. So let me go ahead and set this up. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set it up. While I'm recording this, I'm trying to do something a little bit easier on my time for the channel. I haven't had time to do a lot of preparation and script writing and setting up of the studio and swapping things out because of some other obligations. So this is sort of my compromise to just hit record and go. So I hope this is all right. I apologize if it's not what you're used to. But yeah, let me just go ahead and do this. Oh, and so I brought my little laptop for setting up the thing. So I'm not even going to bother capturing. I'm just going to bring the camera over and do the thing. We'll see how that goes. Also, I'm not really sure about the audio. I looked into getting a Bluetooth lavalier to walk around with, but all the ones that say they're Bluetooth actually require a little module that clips to the bottom of the phone, and the shipping times were awful, and I think I'm just going to do something a little different. More on that in a future video. Okay, let me just do this. Do I want to stick sticky stuff to my... I mean, it's either that or a hole, so yeah. Alright, I'm going to do this one. This thing's neat. I like that, actually. Alright, so I'm going to take the little sticky tape off here and put it on the back of this guy. It has, you can like take this off and use it without the cover to mount if you wanted to use screws. But I'm gonna just do this and see how it goes. Usually this 3M tape is pretty good. And this isn't a super heavy device. It's actually a little bit lighter than the one. And I wonder, it feels like, and just based on the size of the thing and the feeling of the thing, you could probably fit two 18650s in here, or one and then electronics, or maybe they've got some of those weird, like an A4, they're about that big, about the same diameter as an 18650. It is rather top heavy, so the battery's definitely up here, but I don't know. I'll probably buy another one and take it apart later. This one doesn't look nearly as easy to disassemble as the other one either, so I don't want to wreck my first one. But all right, back to it. All right, well that's that easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the tool. And just give it a little press there, and now it's on, and it's upset that it's moving around and shouldn't be. I should charge it, and I will. I actually have a USB right beneath here for that purpose. However, and I would definitely recommend looking at that and making sure that the hooks are up before applying the weight. Yeah, okay, well that was, oops. I do kind of want that to, I could tighten that I suppose, but it's a little wimpy. It's probably alright. Okay, so now I just need to find it and set it up with Home Assistant. So I'm going to bring you over here, and we're going to sit right here, and that's the thing I'm going to do. Excuse me if I'm sniffly. I don't know if the pollen's up or what, but my nose is not happy with something. Okay, so I'm just going to use Fing to find the IP address rather than logging into my router because I'm kind of lazy. Marvelous, just show me the thing. Actually, I used to be a big fan of Fing, F-I-N-G. I'll link to it below. I'm not as much these days because it's gotten a little bit bloated, but it still does the job. So but I never leave it run in the background either because I don't want it to monitor my network. I don't need it to. You know, maybe that's nice for some folks, but I don't care. I usually notice pretty quick if something's not working on my network. If it's something that I don't pay attention to, why am I wasting the electricity running it? Okay, so let's look for motion. And it's not going to tell me which of these is the motion 2. Oh, wait a second. It's not on the network yet. So, what I need to do is find, there it is. We will connect it to its network. Navigate to 192.168.33.1, which will bring up its interface. And then I'm going to turn on the Wi-Fi client. Oh, it must come with its new, no, maybe not. That's interesting. I shouldn't still have, how am I still connected to you with that turned off? Let me refresh that and make sure. No, okay, good, it dropped. So now let me switch over. You can do that after the update to the firmware. They actually made it so that you can, oh that's nice, so that you can do both, connect to it and also serve the ad hoc from it. Thing being super stable at the moment. Huh. What is that about? Oh, this is, maybe I shouldn't recommend this to people. Okay, here we go. I have one more than I had prior, but it still doesn't show me which one is which. Awesome. Good job, Fing. One last attempt. And those are just the regular ones. Those are not my new one. Well, maybe it is. I don't think so. Yeah, this is exciting, isn't it? My connection was interrupted. No, it wasn't. Shenanigans. Okay. So I'm going to backtrack and say, don't get Fing. I'm not going to link to it. To the people that make Fing, get better. Yeah, sure, fine. Not doing it. I don't know if you can actually see what's on my screen very well, and for those of you who may have noticed that LastPass just popped up on my screen, I don't recommend that either. I use it for other reasons, because of people that share passwords with me, but not a fan at all. Used to use 1Password. I do still like 1Password for the most part, but I'm actually starting to get away from third-party password managers in general and just kind of doing my own thing. See previous videos on that. Oh wait, why am I bothering with it? Oh, you know what? It should be at the bottom here. And it's not. Okay, so this is the one thing. This is the one thing that is annoying about more or less all smart devices, is figuring out where they are on your network. There are a lot of devices that you can scan codes and they'll connect through other radio technologies and they'll connect through Bluetooth and that sort of thing. But I don't I don't like the ones that aren't standard protocols for all other computing purposes. Because I like the interchangeability of having things that just send over TCP, send over HTTP, FTP, you know, what is it for RTP, I think it is, for video. Those are all standards that have been around for a really long time. A lot of the standards that people are switching to, like Zigbee, for instance, those have been around for a long time as well for alternate applications, very similar to MQTT, where they came over from the commercial and industrial worlds, but they're a little obscure. They're not widely adopted. I don't like being locked into somebody's ecosystem that I don't have to be. One of the reasons why I love Shelly devices so much is because you're not trapped in their ecosystem. You don't have to use their cloud app if you don't want to. You don't have to have a hub. You don't have to use Zigbee or Matter. You can just treat it like it's a device that's been around since the 90s. And that works really well because those standards have been in use for so long, they're time tested, and we know how to do it very well. And because we do that, and because it's already been out for so long, everybody does it. So I don't have to worry about, can I access this device from that device? Or is this going to be a problem setting up this device because of these other devices? I don't have any of that in my system. I had a limitation with my Orbi router that once I hit about 90 devices, 95 devices, it started to act up because of its own bandwidth limitations and probably processing power. But all I had to do was replace it with another industry standard device, and everything is fine, with the exception of the fact that I made a mistake about, DHCP switching devices that then I actually referenced their specific IPs, and the places where I referenced their specific IPs stopped functioning properly, so I had to go and rectify that. Otherwise, though, all I did was gave the new router my same SSID and passkey as the old router, and all of the devices just connected to it and started talking. I didn't have to reset up a hub or re-log into an account or anything like that. My house just worked after I switched the device. That is the end goal. Automation, for the sake of automation, is ridiculous. Automation is supposed to save you time, give you reliability, give you peace of mind. And if you're constantly trying to figure out why your devices aren't working, that's not peace of mind, especially if it's costing you hundreds of dollars. Anyway, so back to this. I am only seeing 4 of the sensors on here, which actually isn't even all of them, although I have a few of them that I let the batteries go dead because I didn't charge them on my normal day. And I hope that you can't hear my dog. He has decided that now is the time to whine. Oz, you're not dying. Okay, I don't know why this isn't connecting. So here's another one of those kind of annoying things about smart homes. This isn't working for some strange reason. It could be the, maybe I should have charged it before I did this stuff. Yeah? I don't know, let's find out. Yeah, that's what it is. The battery has died. Well, that was a dumb thing I just did. Tried to do this live, wanted to open the box straight away. Bad decision on my part, because now I have to go and charge this and do a second video anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that and I'll be back. Okay, so the battery in the Shelly Motion 2 wasn't high enough to stay on. I was going to charge it and then start again, but then I realized I don't really need to do that. I just need to plug it in because there's a plug nearby and I can do that. and then start over. So that's what I'm doing now. I have found the ad hoc Wi-Fi, so apparently the last time I tried to configure it, it died before it could save the before it could save the configuration. So now I'm going to log back into it using 192.168.33.1, and maybe I can move this so that you can see what I'm doing. That's not great, and there's a lot of rolling shutter. Sorry about that, but you know, it really does go quick. So I'm just going to set up the Wi-Fi client here. Oh, so it did remember that. Maybe the password was wrong. And if you could see that, well, good for you. Okay. Now, let's switch back over. We're doing that now. Go back here, refresh the router. Aha! Now I have 5, which means, there it is. Okay, 134. That's annoying. Thing, I hate you. No, I want to, close this worthless. I don't know why Thing didn't quit. Why are you bugging me? Junk. We'll remove later. All right. Have I waited too long? Oh, come on. You can do it. Oh, wait. Is that right? Yeah, it is right. Maybe it's doing that thing where it has to wake up. Or maybe it is failing. No, there it is. Okay, good. Yay. Now, once I do the firmware update, it will be automatically available in my notifications because Shelly and Home Assistant get along quite nicely. Connection lost, reconnecting. Why do you say that? What is your major malfunction here? Ooh, we're micro dropping with the new router. Awesome. We'll definitely have to diagnose that later. What are you doing? Oh, it's connecting to the... It's like getting into a tug of war with my other router. Going to have to do something about that. Really? Why am I having all of these network problems while I'm trying to do a video without having to edit it? Probably because I'm trying to do a video without having to edit it. Oh, come on. Seriously? Just connect. Stay connected to the one that I chose. Don't make my decisions for me. Thank you. That is really aggravating. I'm going to have to do something about that very soon. And Spectrum, you suck, just so you know. Whoever you contract to do your equipment sucks too. It's probably Motorola. Used to be Motorola. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they switched away from Motorola and now their equipment sucks. I don't know. But stop forcing things on me. Why are you not detecting? Okay, let's do this instead. Let's go to the settings. And we'll go here and see if it just picks it up. Of course not. That would be entirely too convenient. Oh, do we have to do this again? You know, this normally goes a lot smoother. It really, really does normally go a lot smoother than, oh, I guess you just refresh the page when I hit that now. You don't actually do your update. That's, annoying. If I don't get any more than that, I can't set the gateway without setting a static IP address. It's a tad bit tragic. Let's refresh the interface itself and see if maybe that helps. This thing's working great, man. I promise my viewers, I do not normally have this much trouble with Shelly devices. I don't suspect it's the Shelly device. I actually suspect it's the Ubiquiti that I have. And it's probably not the fault of the Ubiquiti. They are a very robust commercial system. It's probably something I have set up weird. And I could very well blame it on the Spectrum router that I have to go through for the internet part. That I don't think I can choose to turn off the Wi-Fi on. And they're probably charging me $5 a month for it in the first place, for no good reason. Yeah, we're definitely micro dropping. That definitely lost packets somewhere in the middle of that and just gorked the browser. I do not appreciate that at all. You have the latest version of your device. Okay, so if that's true, this thing should be picking it up. It's not picking it up. I'm going to give it one more refresh because I really wanted to show how easy it is when it automatically picks up Shelly devices. Normally it does that. Maybe I'll set up another Duo so that you can see it that way, or another Shelly plug, or another Shelly relay. All of those have done it up to this point. This is the only exception. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to give it an IP address that might change and hope that it knows if it does. Because I really don't want to have to set static IPs on everything. So there it is. Oh, what am I doing? I'm putting in the IP and the brand name because I'm getting frustrated. Why can't you just detect it? Why can't you detect what brand it is? I guess some brands it would be hard to, so that's fine. Oh, for Pete's sake. Are you kidding me? Really? No. I refuse to believe it. 134. Let's refresh this so I know it's talking. Survey says receiving data, so I know it's alive and awake. Failed to connect. Do I need to put in this kind of situation? Is that what you want? No. You just won't connect. Why? Why will you not connect? Why will you not connect? Let's go over here. I guess we'll enable COIOT, and maybe that will force it to cooperate. Now, with the COIOT connected, which, again, I don't like relying on a whole lot of, random technologies from the late 90s, early 2000s industrial world. Some I do, don't get me wrong. Robust industrial solutions to simple problems, does tend to work. just, not this, not today. I save it again, maybe if I save it 4 or 5 times, it'll, maybe not, maybe I go back to add integration, and I do this again. Oops. I don't know where I got that idea. All right. There we go. Okay, so now it wants to read it. So I guess I had to turn on COIOT, which, okay, fine. Not a huge fan of that, but there it is. Okay, so now I should have a motion sensor somewhere in here. There it is, motion 2. I want to go to the device, rename it. And I'm going to call this one Dining Room Motion, because it's a lot easier than Shelly Motion 2 and its MAC address when I'm going through it. 111 degrees Fahrenheit. My goodness. It is a warm little device, isn't it? Alright, now let me move around a bit and see if it... Ah, look, there we go. Motion detected. Fantastic. So now, might as well go ahead and do this. I'm going to go back to the settings. Automations and scenes. I'm going to create an automation. Those. I'm going to do a trigger, device, find my... Oh, of course I can't search just based on that. Alright. Dining room motion. Starts detecting motion. And I'm going to say the condition is going to be... yeah, we'll do time. And we'll say after 5 a.m. My wife is an early riser. She'll actually be up before that. And before, we'll say 10 p.m. because I'm going to make one for the dim setting as well. All the days that end in Y. And add an action. And we'll turn on a scene. I already have a scene for my dining room that turns the it either makes them white at 100% or more red, orange, shifted down to the 5500K range at 20% in the evening. So let's do bright dining room. Save that. We're going to call this, oops. Dining room toggle on motion day. Save. So now, theoretically, once this thing detects my motion, it should turn on the dining room. I also need to set up a timer on there, I think, to shut them back off, or maybe, yeah, I don't know how to do that. I know that there's a light managing thing in Home Assistant. Shelly Motion even has some special, sort of features for that. None of the ones that I have found in any of the pre-programmed products have been quite right for the scenario. I've always had to find some sort of formula mix of the things. So I'll just have to play around with that and figure out what works best in this room. Although it is a little bit, kind of bugs me that it didn't turn on already. Maybe I just have to sit still for a little bit and then come back into the room and see it happen. Here, you know what? You've already stayed with me for this long. So let me just wait for a moment I would imagine that while I'm doing this a little bit, it's probably not going to be a big deal. I'm actually going to go ahead and go back into that. Why not? I'm going to go back into that scene, or yeah, automation that I made, and give it a new action. Just for now, we'll do a delay. We'll say 30 minutes is probably fine, especially since they don't draw that much power to begin with. And then we will run the dark dining room scene. Okay. Okay, now move. And I wonder, maybe it's a sensitivity thing. Let's see if it's a sensitivity thing. Because I did notice just then that it didn't pick up my movement. Ah! That time it did. I saw it turn red. But it did not turn on the lights. Yeah. This thing's working great. Absolutely fantastic. No complaints here. Ah, I may have done a stupid thing. So, wait a minute, and I'll explain what that stupid thing is real quick. I am using Shelly Duo bulbs. But of course, before that, this was a switched light. The switches there on the wall, one of those controls this as normal. So if it's turned off, they're not going to have power. Why is that not? There we go. It is turned on though. So let's try. Oh, you bugger. I can't be smart enough to do that. Let's try. Okay, so that works. That works. I'm not sure why this isn't working. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Where's my setting? Come on. Oh, why? Why does this scroll bar have to be so tiny? Okay. No, not what I want. Let's check the automation. Let's see if maybe I did a bad thing. Confirm the time is after 5 a.m. and before 10 p.m., which it is. Dining room motion started detecting motion. That seems right to me. Is there any other thing in here? Vibration, luminance change, stop detecting motion, which, no. Okay, so let's go to the entity and we'll watch it. Why do you not? Really, I can't search dining to find the dining motion sensor. I have to grab this tiny little bar. Dining room motion. Yes, yes. Oh, detected is. Oh! Detected hasn't ended. This is the problem. Interesting. So I'm going to leave this sitting here. I'm going to try walking out of the room. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maybe I should know more about my device before I start making assumptions. I think that this guy might have Light temperature reading, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't tell me. Doesn't tell me. I wonder if it has microwave presence detection. And it really does know that I'm still in the room. That would be impressive. Let's test. I'm going to walk out of the room. I'm going to leave the camera facing this. You should see this change, right? To, back to clear. And we'll see how that works. Here, let me give you a better seat, a better view of that as I walk out of the room. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I'm sure the audio is all over the place. I might not even use this video. Okay, I am no longer in the room, I think. I'll give it a little bit to clear. Still waiting. Still waiting. Hopefully it's not detecting my dog lying on the floor in the living room. That is possible. He is a rather large animal. We're walking back in, obviously. And no, yeah. So it never cleared its detection. But there's more. I think if I go back over here to the motion detector, boy, I really hope that I hope I didn't record all this and you can't really read this. I can't really tell. That would kind of suck, and then I'd have to throw away all this video and start over with a scripted thing or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. No, that's not what I want. Sensor control. Motion sensitivity. I'm fine with that. It's usually fine. Motion blind time. 5 minutes. No, let's do 1 minute on that. And see, that's annoying. I don't want that to be in minutes. So here's the thing for Shelly. One of the things that happens in my shop is I create this strange race condition where after a half an hour, the light turns off. And I could do a refresh of the timer every time it detects motion or something like that, but I don't, because it usually just kind of works out fine. Every now and then, I'll just wave my hand and the light will come back on. But most of the time, I actually don't spend that much time down there. And I also have it set to check to see if the light is off before it starts the 30-minute timer. So if I know I'm going to be down there for a while, I just turn the light on with Home Assistant, and then it doesn't turn it on with the timer, so it never shuts it off. And then I just shut it off myself with Home Assistant on the way out, which admittedly defeats the purpose. But there are different ways that you could do that. But the race condition is somehow the 1 minute blind time bites me. Somehow, if it detects motion, within a certain window in Home Assistant, and Home Assistant doesn't get the detection, and the blind time is on the motion sensor, the motion sensor won't detect motion again for another minute, and I'm sitting in the dark. I don't like that at all. I would love to be able to set this blind time to a few seconds. I mean, I understand maybe not doing, 1 second or something to that effect, especially because, I'd imagine you have to go from a low power to a high power mode at some point during the process. Still, I'd like to have the option to do that. That would be really great. All right, so going back to what I was doing here. So I've set this to a 1 minute blind time, and then we have another one down here. What's this one for? Oh, disable motion. Why would I want to do that? I guess if I just wanted to use it as a light sensor or something to that effect. Sleep time, pause motion. Yeah, no, we don't want to do that at all. Oh, I'm not worried about that either. All right, so maybe that will make things better. I don't know. I actually am gonna raise this. I'm gonna go to like 80 on the motion sensitivity, and then I'm going to watch the top of it. It says no motion at the moment. So, theoretically, when I move and it picks me up, the lights should come on. Aha! There we go. Okay, so it was the blind time that was getting me. And I can see it counting down now. It's at 50 seconds, etc. So I wonder if I could force that condition that I spoke of earlier. You know what? This has been long enough. If you've been with me this long, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for sticking with the channel. Hopefully you got something out of this, if not just sort of laughing at me for kind of being weird. Yeah, I may do more videos like this. Maybe I'll prepare a little bit more. Maybe I won't. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did. And of course, you know, do the little thumbs up thing, because, you know, that's a free way to support me. And I don't want to, I want to keep going down this path. I want to keep on this journey of doing these videos. It's just going to be a little while before I can get back into the studio and devote time to a little more prep work. So, thanks for listening to me ramble, and I do hope you'll join me for future videos as I continue exploring and building smarter circuits.